Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this a couple years now with my fiance. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to jump into a bunch of stuff that sold over the weekend. It is Monday. I'm feeling frazzled, but in a good way. There's a ton of work for me to do today. There's a ton of stuff for us to ship out. I think it's like over 40 items. I'm a little overwhelmed. We haven't had a weekend this good in a while. We have had this happen before. Usually we ship out like about 30 items on a Monday, which is from Friday to Sunday. Yeah, it's a little bit over 40. So I will jump into it, but before I jump into it, we played a little bit of games this weekend, my fiance and I, and then we also went to my mom's birthday. My brother hosted. It was a good time, but we were all back to the grind. So first off is a pile of 300 plus D&D tokens. I wasn't fully sure what exact game this went to. I was trying to listen to them for a while just because I couldn't figure out, but then I just took good pictures, laid them all out there, and this sold for $22.49 plus shipping. I'm going to not mention the plus shipping for the rest of the items because we always do plus shipping. We don't do free shipping. Save us all some time. Alright, next up is a strategy guide book. We like to sell strategy guide books. I usually get like $10 to $20 for these. This one is let me see, Darksiders. I haven't played this game before. It looks pretty cool. It's a good condition strategy guide book. This one sold for $10. To find room for everything. Next up is a CD that sold. I thought I had it ready. Let me go grab it. Here we go. This is the Chieftains film cuts right here. It's in good condition. This was listed during my 500 items in 5-day challenge. I have a bunch of videos about that down below, so it's nice to see some of these selling. I think I listed around 60 to 70 during that challenge. Just try not to do too many easy items during that challenge, but there was a day I needed to catch up, so I really had to do some CDs. I actually grabbed the last bunch of these CDs I got at the birthday party. We had a full car full that we bought for $75. I'm finally going to grind through the last few hundreds. It's probably going to take a couple of days, maybe less. I'm really going to try to push through. It's really easy to list these now. When I first bought these CDs, we were big newbies. Now I can blast through them. This sold for $9.99. Alright, next up is something pretty cool that I realized people would pay up a little bit for. This is an RPG book, but the special thing about this is someone took the time to actually spiral bind it. So I asked a little bit more. I put in the title that it has a spiral bind. This sold for $14.99. This is by Dungeon Crawl Classics. They make some like tongue-in-cheek satirical stuff, but they are super popular and hipster and also popular at the same time. So $14.99 for this, and I knew this would actually add value to the bind. It was well done by whoever did it. Next up is a puzzle. We used to get a little bit more for puzzles, like the trade puzzles and such. This one is Carrie's Cookout right here. This one only sold for $7.59. But yeah, I would still pick these up. My fiance would still pick these up. They're easy to list as long as they're in okay enough condition. They don't go for as much. We used to get around $15. This one's $7.59 on an offer, but it's really easy to store and ship. Next up is also something pretty cool. We like weird ephemera stuff. This is Gurney Mills Outlet Mall coupon book. Yeah, weird stuff like this. You can put a decent price on it, especially if there's very little to none listed on eBay. Someone will want the nostalgia. Someone will remember this. This looks like pure trash to most other people out in the wild. We grabbed this probably last day at an estate sale. Cost little to nothing, a quarter if that. This sold for $20. Alright, next up is a hat. Funny thing is, I actually had this here at home. I'm very bad at listing clothing. I don't know how people think it's easy. It is extremely hard for me. I very rarely sell it. My photo booth is not set up for it. That's probably the big issue, is people have specific setups to list clothes, even hats. I just don't understand it. I've never been into them, so I think the lack of passion shows. This one is a 59.50, 7 out of 5/8 size. I don't even know what I'm talking about. We do get hats once in a while. This one sold for $14. Someone bought this before. I grabbed it from the storage unit. brought it home. They wanted to cancel randomly. That happens. I actually have a bin here at home for canceled items, so I put them all in the bin, so I know to return them back to the bin I had at the storage unit. This one just happened to never make its way back, so I saved a little bit of time, but that is a project I have to eventually get on my bin of stuff that has to go back when people cancel before we ship it out. Alright, next up are some counters. This is another little thing I just have from having nerdy knowledge. These are just little beads. These are probably vintage card game beads. People used to use these as counters, +1/+1 on their little creatures, any other tokens that needed to be visualized. A lot of people still don't like those D6. The D6 are little dice right now that people use to show stats on cards in a lot of card games like Pokemon and Magic. Now, a lot of people, they get back into these games, they want what they remember. They want these beads, so I knew I can get more for them. I got $15.18. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to realize the value in these. You have to put a lot of nice keywords. I actually have to use a piece of paper right now because I'm recording with my phone, which is unusual, so I don't know what keywords I used, but I did put stuff like TCG, 1/1 counters, whatever else I put in at the time. I thought more heavily about it than right now. I have a lot to do right now, so I can't check. But yeah, like I said, $15.18, which is really good for those. Next up is another thing we have to sell, PC games, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Just Sabrina the Teenage Witch, some interactive PC game. Got the little cat there, I forget his name. But yeah, this sold for, let me see, $7. Let me cross up some stuff so I don't get lost where I'm at. So $7 is sold for. They were actually really excited. They were like, oh, I'm paying in a couple days. Please let me take your offer and I'll get you paid. And they paid throughout the weekend. Next up, I think my fiance picked up. I can't remember where. This is an icy straw. Like, people do collect, it's hard to see, icy, 7-Eleven, any of those kind of weird things. This one's sealed, so the person knows that this is not going to be nasty and grimy. I'm going to put it in another bag before I ship it out. This sold for $12. Obviously, we wouldn't list nasty-looking ones, but yeah, that one's sealed, so people collect that stuff. Next up is another item I listed during my 500 items for 5-day challenge for myself. This is a cool PC manual. This one is called Descent. I don't recognize or remember this PC game, but when I was at an estate sale, I also talked about this. I'm jumping all over the place, but I talked about this in my negotiation strategies. We actually did the strategy where you watch the seller have a couple of annoying customers, and then you swoop in, and because you've been polite the whole time, you actually get to negotiate a deal where everyone else was trying aggressively to get a deal. We got a massive deal. I put a bunch of stuff on the table. I just asked them, oh, hey, could you give me a little discount, please? This time it was one of those cases where I didn't want to throw out the number because that's what everyone else was doing, and that was not working. I think we got a bunch of stuff, like half a car full for like $75. This person had a bunch of cool PC manuals, like PC video game manuals. There were some good ones in there. There were some okay ones. This was one of those that listed. Oh, it took me very little time during my challenge to list these. So it was a lot of fun too. $12.50 after all of that rambling, but it's still pretty cool. Next up is an item that we got from a auction. We spent $660. This is a little Hot Wheels car, P911. It's white, it's beat up. This one sold for $7. I'll eventually be doing a video on if that purchase of $660 was worth it. We are a little bit in the profit right now. It was a medium amount of work. I think it took me like a week and a half. So like Monday through Friday, and I probably got done at like Tuesday, and I think I only have like 5 or less items in the other room where I just got tired of all of that stuff and moved on to more interesting things. When I get tired of something, I just gotta switch my gears in my brain and just list something else, and I get motivated and I get to burn through a bunch of listings. So $7 for that little Hot Wheel. Next up, if you've been watching the channel since the beginning, it's not a very old channel, but a deco pack. This is a cake topper. This is from Ratatouille. As I've mentioned before, I've never seen the movie. I know it's really popular. There's a lot of graduations and birthday parties right now. This is Remy and Emily. This one actually sold for $30, so that's awesome. This one's making me a little nervous now because the person is asking about guarantees for shipping. Do not guarantee any shipping for people. I cringe when the post office employees guarantee shipping. It's pretty much random. There's estimations at this point, but they're huge. It'll be like 2 to 10 days, and sometimes if you check it, it changes from week to week. In general, most of her stuff gets there. I think this will get there on Friday, but you cannot promise a customer something that you literally don't know. Even though this is a good sale, I'm just a little nervous shipping this out. We will ship it out. They didn't ask to cancel, but I think it'll get there before Friday, but what are you going to do? You move on. You can't dwell on it. Next up is a combo order. I got, we sell a lot of this stuff. These are military books. This one is tanks, and then this one is warplanes. This is going to be, I believe, World War II era. Hope I'm not talking out of my... Alright. Yeah, there you go. This is a combo order. This sold for $26.50. This was part of another big purchase where we bought like about $200 of books. I cringed and had dread when we had to store it, and it messed up my storage at the storage unit. But it's paid off a lot. It was definitely worth it, but at the time I felt awkward. Not awkward, I was like, ooh, should we have done that? We should have been past this. But yeah, it was a good buy. Alright, moving on. Homeworld. I'm going a little bit faster because I have a lot to go through today and a lot to do after this video, which is good. From like an RPG day, it's a quick start rules. There's also going to be character sheets in this. This one wasn't a super popular one, and because it was probably free in RPG day from 2022, this one sold for $8. We love selling RPGs. If you want to sell us a bunch of your RPGs or nerd books like that, we do have our email down below if you want to shoot us some pictures, and we can talk from there. Right, next up is Dream Wizards, Shop of the Fantastic game catalog. Let me look this through. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't see... Oh, 1992. Oh, sorry, there you go. This stuff is awesome to sell. This is the stuff I like to mark up. This is essentially unique. Who else is going to have this and in good shape? People love catalogs. They love the nostalgia. They used to go through these things. They read them. Everyone's on their phones now, but there are people that still love just getting the nostalgia, just picking up a catalog, going through it, seeing all the pictures, the prices of stuff during the year it was at, which is 1992. This one sold for $48.61. Love stuff like this. I mean, this is cool. There's like either an elf or like a human. It looks like a wizard. There's the dragon. Good art. All right, moving on to something else, of course. And I have it right here. These are lots of 15 Spyro's Adventure Skylanders cards. I'm not too sure on this. I know Skylanders is a popular video game for kids, or probably even people older than kids. This is a pack of 15 of the cards. I'm not sure how they work, if there's activations or such, or if people collect them, or why. This sold for $10.53. I wasn't going to go through the individuals. I think I checked them really quickly on the computer. I just typed in the names just to see if any of them were worth like $5 or more. If not, they went into a lot, which they did, and it sold. Next up, we have a couple of these. This is the second to last one. This is really cool. This is Tunnels and Trolls RPG, like a starter box. This is just the box. Hopefully they know that. It's in pretty good condition. This sold for $12. I had a really weird idea back when I was listing. I don't know if I can pop it open. No, it's going to take up too much time. I don't want to mess up the box. I put a little like baggie in there saying like, oh, this is number 3, and in my custom SKU list on the eBay SKU, I said, oh, there's number 3 in the box, just so I didn't like write on the box, and I didn't have a baggie big enough to go around this to then Sharpie just like number 3 on it. So I got scrappy at the time. $12 for this, which is awesome. As long as they know it's empty and we don't get a return. This one was pretty clear, and it's a really cool piece. They might just have it like on a bookshelf behind them like this, like I have. Got some demons right here. Demons and Apocalypse. I'm going to do a video about these soon. Alright, moving on. There is some miniature like terrain accessory. These are like a bunch of sandbags for like war games. It could be mech games, anything, whatever they want to use them for. This is a little pack of them. This sold for $11.25. So yeah, we love selling little miniatures, any kind. Next up, I had another one of these, so I got to relist it. This is a Zombicide RPG book. This is a pretty popular, basically Walking Dead style board game. It got super popular. It wasn't one of my favorites. I didn't really enjoy it. That doesn't matter. People do. This is the RPG book for it. It's going to have some lore. It's like a quick start, a little sampler to see if you're interested in this. If you are, you can just go ahead and get the core book, and they're going to have more books than that. You can play some adventures, or in this case, some survival scenarios. Alright, now we're at the point of the list where I'm less organized, but we'll make it work. Got some playing cards. Here you go. I can't say this even though I am half Dutch. Kinderziek. I don't want to say it wrong. I probably just did. These sold for $10. This is going to be the windmills. A place there with some windmills. Yeah, they have a lot of cookies. They have some really good cookies. I forget the particular flavor. It kind of tastes like butterscotch, but they're really good. They look like these like rectangular cookies. You can find them all over the place. They're probably more popular now here in America. But yeah, this playing card deck, like I said, I like any unique ones. This was sealed. People love foreign places. $10. Next up, someone also asked me if I had more of these, which I did not, but they still bought what I had. I used to have a bunch of Essex miniatures. This is going to be a bunch of horsies. Oh, I might have actually grabbed the wrong one. I'm going to have to actually check later to make sure I grab the right one. This feels heavier than what I remember for 4 horses. This sold for $17. I'm going to set this aside to double check it. It's always good to double check stuff you sell if you think you grabbed the wrong one. I'll be sad if I did because I feel like I was almost flawless today. Knock on wood. Alright, Foundry catalog. That is the next thing I sold. Foundry catalog. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Like I said, at this point, I am less organized. Foundry catalog. My fiance is going to have to do a big edit here. Alright. Foundry catalog, the next thing that's sold, right here, it's going to be like some miniatures, a little catalog for it. We already sold another catalog today for, what, it was like $46. I might be quoting it wrong, I'm already on the next page. This is going to have Trojan Warriors and World of the Geeks. So it's going to have specific factions for this particular miniature game. This one's really cool, as you can see, painted figures. This actually folds out to be a big poster, and then it unfurls into a big poster, and then it comes down into a small little catalog. This sold for $11.33. I had 3 other ones with different factions, so this stuff I feel like other people would toss away, but I know catalogs are really cool for selling on eBay and looking at for people. People do appreciate them. Next up is Smith. I wrote Smith. I don't even know what Smith is. Oh yeah, Smith. Here it is. I can't actually see all the labels on it. I believe these are for projectors or something. I'm probably misspeaking on them. This is a lot of 5. I just wrote the keywords on it, saw what other people were listing them for. I think they're new. This one might be a return. We'll find out. The older stuff like this, especially for projectors, do well. People still use them. This sold for $18.74. My fiance probably picked this up. She probably knows a lot more about this. So if it's not even for projectors, she knows. So it doesn't matter that I don't know. And it's sold. Alright, next up is Brave New World, Ravaged Planet, Player's Guidebook. This is hardcover right here. This sold for $11. You can see I put a B here because I listed 2 of them. I do different pictures for these books because I do like angles so they can see if there's like fingerprint smudge marks, and there were a little bit on this. It's really not a big deal, but you want to, you have 24 pictures for free. You want to give them the best information they have available so they can make the best decision on purchasing your item and hopefully not a return. So $11 for this one. I believe it's an RPG. I know nothing about this one. We have sold stuff like this. It looks like kind of like superhero 90s style action movie-ish. There you go. Let me move this out of the way. Next up is a Star Wars starter deck. Right here, this is a sampler deck. Sample, not for sale. This is old from the 90s. You can sell this. I had a couple other ones already relisted this one. This one sold for $10.20. Dead card games. I like picking them up. If you want to sell us your dead card games, send us an email down below. It's the second time I'm going to mention email. I'm going to stop now. Alright, but for real, $10.20 for this. We do well with dead card games, even decks, loose cards, lots. there's always these niche communities that still play it. They're still legit games. If you actually want to play like a modern card game, most of them are pretty expensive if you haven't been playing them for a while. There's always budget decks for people, but not everyone wants to get into a game and be forced into a budget cheap deck, whether it plays well or not. So a lot of people just get some buddies or themselves or a couple people. They spend like $100 and you get a bunch of stuff from another dead card game. It's still, you're still able to play it. There's still rules for it. It's only dead in the sense that they're not currently supporting it, but there's still going to be maybe thousands, if not tens of thousands of cards. Maybe not that many, but who knows for all these different games. They're still playable and for a cheaper price, and you don't have to play on a budget in the sense of having a budget deck. All right, moving on. This was an interesting one. This is a backpack. I have learned long ago not to doubt my fiance for purchases. This one we were at a yard sale. She saw it hanging. I think it was like $3. I was like, ooh. I knew it was going to take up a lot of space. And she's like, nope, it will sell. Someone will like it. It's a bunch of fishies. It's a backpack. Hopefully it's the right size for them. Hopefully I did a good enough pictures. I'm really bad with clothes and stuff. I put this kind of in that category. It's like an accessory for clothes. But she was correct. Once again, like always, I listed this during the 500 items for 5 day challenge, I believe, or shortly after, but I'm pretty sure I did it during the challenge. This sold for $22. And I think it was actually what she said it would sell for. She said 20 to 25 she thinks we could get for it. She's the brains of the operations. I'm just like the person that does the grind of listing all this stuff, you know, the boring part. But yeah, she's the solid brains for a good eye for all this stuff. Even some of the stuff where I feel like I have a really strong niche knowledge base, she still has outsmarted me on some of that stuff or out-knowledged me. So it's cool. We work good as a team. Next up is SolidWorks. Don't know why I wrote that. Oh yeah. Here you go, niche DVDs and software and computer games. I'm not even sure. This looks like some kind of, yeah, I don't know, craft software. I'm saying this horribly. It doesn't matter because it was sealed. I listed it. There weren't many. I got $11.30 for this. You could probably just mess around with 3D design, simulation, and engineering and analysis software. There you go. Someone's going to literally just have fun fiddling with this. Next up is 105 cards from Universal Monsters. I love stuff like this. I do think I put a little bit too much effort in all these because I will picture all of the cards. And I think in the description I do put like, oh, this has numbers 1 through 10, 15 through 23. It's a little bit extra time, but that's what puts me above other people's listings. And I got $15 for this. So yeah, even if this took like 10 to 15 minutes to list, $15 is not too bad of a rate for my time. I don't mind. It's kind of relaxing. It's cool that people appreciate these old collectible cards. Someone's really going to be happy with these. All right, next up is All Quiet. All Quiet. I don't know what All Quiet is. Oh, it's going to be right here. I actually have to take a look at this real quick. All Quiet on the Martian Front, Rules Handbook. Oh, for miniatures game. There you go. Really niche miniatures game that I'm unaware of. So you see a bunch of like little alien robot ships blasting people. I mean, not really blasting. Wait, is that? Oh yeah, there's like human tanks, assumingly, fighting here. That's not even the word, assumingly. I'm just making up stuff at this point. I'm really tired. All right, $22.49 for this niche stuff. If no one else has it, you can ask up for it. It's even small. Look at that. All right, moving on. Ooh, old Uno. Old Uno. There are so many different years of Uno. People usually, when they're like trying to replace their cards to their decks, they actually want the nostalgia. So this is probably an older person. No big deal. They just don't want the newer cards sometimes. And I generally agree the newer cards are going to be worse quality. I think even like the used ones from older card games generally have like a better, thicker material. They weren't trying to cut costs like they are these days. This sold for $19.99. Good box. Cards were relatively used, but still in good condition. I disclosed that. Do really well with old Uno. It's kind of boring when I see it, like one of the few items that stayed, so I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna get like $8 to $20 is max for like for these, unless if they're like really good condition. You can really ask up for someone who is older, wants the old cards, and they want them pristine. They will pay up for it, and they can afford it. They're usually retired, have a bunch of extra money. They only play Uno, a couple of family games. This is a classic. $19.99 for this, which is pretty good. I remember one of the first sales I went, a yard sale, community one, with my brother. I got a bunch of like Unos and stuff for like quarters, and he like apologized to me later because he thought it was like a dead yard sale. But I think we made a couple $100 from our first go. Like Noobville City, there was some. I think everything but one thing sold from that, and I have to double check on the one thing. It was like the last thing that didn't sell was a Monopoly board game, complete. I think like a Chicago one. I think we actually sold it, but it was like $7 or $8. So yeah, not worth the time. But yeah, everything sold from it. And there was a lot of Unos I got, not this one, but it's just a random side story. All right, next up, I labeled something as CT. CT. Oh, yeah, I can't even spell the name. I'm kind of tired of looking at these. Looking at them, honestly, make my brain hurts. We got a bunch of cherished teddies. I don't know if I talked about this on the channel yet. I think we got like 600 something cherished teddies boxed. Small ones, big ones, no box. Fancy, like they have setups for these. I think we paid $1.25 each for them. So it was like 650, but then we also got some other throw-ins. There's like a Coca-Cola clock in literally the other room, not the list. It's a lot of space. I think it does work too. Sorry, I got on a tangent. We have made our money from these. I think there's still some more at my parents' house that I have to pick up. They just bore me to death. Like I actually just can't stand looking at them. This one sold for $11.74, which is pretty good. Like for these for like $1 into like 12. I've sold. Actually, I think it did on the channel. I don't know if the video went up because we had a lot of videos and a lot of them had to get scrapped. I did sell 3 sets of 3 for $75. International order, which was interesting. But even then, like I just don't like listening. I have to take them out of the box. There's like fuzzies, dust all over the place. I'm sneezing. The certificates are always bent. Putting them back in the box is a pain. Lotting them up by like, because they have different categories. It'll be like summertime, friendship, Valentine's. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of different like categories. I've done lots. I've done individuals. Oh, I'm exhausted just thinking about them. That's like one good buy we did. It is technically a good buy for the money that I would probably never do again. $11.74. I'm sorry for the ramble, but I put CT down. I couldn't even put Cherish Teddy. They give me nightmares. All right, next up is a cool book. I like grabbing these books. I'm still questioning, like, when I grab them if they're worth it. This is like an old book about card tricks anyone can do. They do sell slowly. It'll be like a chess book, how to play Go, how to do a card trick. I guess they sell enough, so I should know to pick them up. You can kind of find them medium to rare out there. I mean, they're not too rare. They're kind of easy to medium, like uncommon. Uncommon, that's the word I'm looking for. Tired. $14 for this. So yeah, it's pretty good. This I actually think was from the Car of Books for $200. So there you go, another one right here. Probably at like $30+. I'm not doing the actual math. I'm just like shooting from the hip, even though I pointed to my brain. All right, another book coming on up is Tomahawk Cruise Missile. We do well with these military books, historical books, fiction, non-fiction, doesn't matter. This sold for $17.99. There you go. Not too much to say about that one. You saw other historical books that we sold today. Ooh, next up is an item that I picked up and it passed through my like brothers and my parents. They had a box of stuff they were going to throw away. This guy was a little bit dirty. He's from Avatar: The Last Airbender. He still has a little bit of dirt. I disclosed that with good pictures. This one sold for $9.37. It is I believe, early 2000s. Hard to see right now. My eyes aren't working well. Early 2000s, I believe, because this was mine. Yeah, $9.37. Stuff that was slated for trash. Like, it was probably going to be in a box for a while, or eventually trash or donated or something. I grabbed the box. I listed all the stuff already. It's been nice to get a little bit extra from that. Next up is a pretty cool thing. I have a note to myself to list another. So after this video, I'm going to immediately pull this out here on the table and list it. This is a Games Workshop store retailer list poster. I'm actually not fully sure, other than when I listed a couple of these, I noticed they have different numbers, so it's either probably different years or there's going to be different stores. But yeah, All the states and the stores during the time are going to be listed here on one huge part of the poster. The other end is going to have something Warhammer related. I think it was like a bunch of Tyranids. I don't know enough about Warhammer to know what I was looking at the other side. I'm not going to unfold it right now. I have another one too, so I'm going to put this to the side to make sure I list it. This sold for $29.99, so it's pretty cool. I think it's like a vintage poster item. People want to remember when they used to be able to play at those stores. All right, next up is another PC big box. They sell better than the smaller boxes and sell better than the individual CDs. This, I think, is Soldiers at War by SSI, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This sold for $38. This is going to have the box. It's in pretty good condition. It's going to have the manual. It's going to have the game. Any other inserts in here, like mail-ins and stuff. $38 for this, which is pretty good. Next up, I sell this stuff often. I actually just like have a little category in my head or like a vision of how I list these things. This is over 100 War Machine. Actually, this is their Horde section, their fancy one, Circle Orboros. Probably saying that wrong. That's like the werewolves and the nature, the elemental people, the lightning people with sorcerers. This sold for $12. This is just like a lot of tokens for them to mark stuff on the battlefield when they're playing the miniature game. It's a dead game, but people still play it. Alright, next up is a really cool combo order. This order and the next two after it were really lucky. This doesn't happen super often, and I actually did something which I have done before, but this is the first time it actually paid off. I messaged someone from months ago. I remember they bought a bunch of miniatures for us. Definitely not on the channel, so I don't want to misquote like how much we made, but I remember it was a good amount of money. Like it saved one of our months. Like it was a nail biter month for bills and stuff. So yeah, it's a grind. It's hard sometimes. There are bad months. This is going to be 6 specific metal miniatures. I believe this is... I'm not sure about these ones. The other ones were for World War II. There's a specific person that made these, I think, in the... Let's see. No, North America. There you go. I was going to say, I thought it was from the UK. It's really hard to picture these. You can tell, like, the bag is dusty. They're not, like, in bad condition. It's really hard to... You don't want to open up a sealed product to take pictures because it's not sealed anymore. Doing my best here. That doesn't really help. There's 6 of these packs. These each sold for $25 internationally, $150 for these 6 little packs of miniatures. Like I said, this person bought from us before. I shot them a message. I said, hey there, I remember you purchased some miniatures. These are not the exact same ones. The other one said Blitz Battlefield Miniatures. These ones just say Battlefield Miniatures. I noticed that they were by the same designer on the back. I took a picture of like the bag of a bunch of them I was listing. Let me know if you'd like to purchase any of these. And whenever they woke up, because I think they were from a different time zone, when they woke up, they bought 6, or they sent 6 offers. I think I had them going for $32, $25 on each of these. I took it. It was awesome. Like I said, I don't think it's ever happened before where they actually purchase stuff, and I do reach out to people. But I have reached out to people because I do remember when people buy these combo orders, and I do know people generally appreciate it if you actually have something worthwhile to reach out to them. Don't bother them. That's usually the worry, but this was not a bother. It's literally like a friendly like poke, and it worked out. But I did feel after I sent the message, I was like, ooh, why did I do this? A little, I don't know, I just felt like, not that it was inappropriate, I just felt like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I bothered them, but they were excited because they bought some. They said nothing either. They just like usually don't talk. They usually say if they have issues with shipping or want stuff combined. But yeah, this person is a good repeat customer. Great combo order. Right before that, before this order, was a pretty good PC purchase. A PC game. This is, let me see, Panzer Campaigns Normandy 44. I don't remember this one, but I believe this is sealed military stuff, especially the old PC games. They were pretty strategic, and they had a lot of content in them for games. They weren't like live service games. Now, you bought this, you got the whole game. Maybe there's a couple updates for bugs, but even if there's bugs, it's not like a big deal. People love, like, you could delve a lot of days or weeks into games like these. They'll have long campaigns. This is literally Panzer Campaigns, like multiple. You can really get into the multiplayer if it's still supported. Usually they have map makers where you can be creative and make more levels, essentially. Yeah, this sold for $36, which is pretty good, like a high price. It's not as crazy as a 150, but going from 36 to 150, that felt good in two sales within like an hour. Feels pretty good when when eBay's actually working like that. It makes a lot of the grind worth it. And then right before that, so this was like, I believe within an hour or two, right before the sale. This was the first sale that I was talking about in another video. It came in when I was doing a what sold for, I believe, Friday, and I was like, oh wow. This is a binder of Star Wars cards. Dead card game. Right here. There's a lot of pages of foils as well, and I know the foils do go for more. I could have individually listed them. I have before, and I've sold them individually. I was just like, you know what? This binder's in good condition. I took all 24 photos, I believe. I sold this binder of Star Wars cards, dead card game, for $162.49. Massive home run. This was lucky. I normally like put high prices and stuff like this, and then I'll probably take a, like an offer. I'll literally just take an offer and then see what happens. I wasn't going to spend time individually looking at these. I've actually done a medium amount of research into this game. I'm not sure if it's related to the new Star Wars game currently right now, which is popular, so I don't know, maybe that's why all these cards are selling. I don't know if they're like usable. I just learned about it a couple days ago, so I can't really talk more about it. But yeah, we have been selling more of the Star Wars stuff. This is the same game, I believe. This is just like an intro sample pack deck, full binder. It was really nice to get these three sales. That's like a day where you just literally don't have to worry about, like, you paid your bills for that day and probably for the week, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, what is that, like, yeah, over $350. I know there's fees and stuff, and the cost of this stuff really was very little. This, I'm not 100% sure, but I do know generally what we pay on stuff. This was a box and probably a 60 to 80 PC games with additional stuff on top. So paid probably between $20 to $25 for all of the stuff. This puts that at a quarter to 75 cents into 36. These miniatures, there was like 20 or 30 packs of these, and some of these are doubles. So I got to relist some of these. I just did sell similar same pictures actually, because I have a couple of doubles. I made a note for myself to resell the ones that I had doubles of. A whole bag, I think it was like $5 or $10 for 20 or 30 of them. And then this binder, I think was like $2 or something, yard sale or something purchased. So yeah, it's cool. That's like when eBay is really working for you. Obviously, every day is not like this. This is a very good weekend. It is going to be a lot of work packing up. I don't want to jinx it, but usually with like 40 plus items, there might be a return or an issue or something you have to discuss with someone. But most of our stuff's been shipping out. The only one I'm concerned about is if this gets to them by Friday, which I'm pretty sure it will. Worst case scenario, I'll tell them we have free returns on. They've been selling, so like as long as you sell it again, you don't get burned on the shipping. As long as you do paid shipping and not free shipping, you only get burned once, which is I think on the way back you get burned. So, but the fact that they've been selling, I still think I have two more of this exact one I already relisted, and then one more pack that's open, which is unfortunate. Yeah, because I don't know if someone wants to put like a open cake topper on a cake, but I feel like they have to open this and wash it anyways. But I don't know what people do if they're filthy or not. I have no idea. Thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to like the video, comment down below, email us if you have anything you would like to sell, like literally anything we'll take a look at and start a discussion. Please take a look at our shop below. Everything that you can look at is purchasable, and it will help us greatly. I hope you had a good weekend, and I have to jump into a lot of packing with my fiance, and we have a lot of stuff to organize and list and clean today for eBay. So have a good one.